Oh, there we go. All right. Hey there, everybody. We are back with another round of around 30 minutes. And I have a very, very special guest. One of the guys, if you have not seen this guy, where have you been? You've been under a rock. I got Mr. HarikenBx Jose himself. How are you doing, good sir?
What is up, Deluxe? Thank you for having me. Really, really appreciate it. I was really looking forward to this when you asked me to be on. So happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. So that's another first question I want to ask is where did you get your nickname? What does HarikenBx stand for?
Okay, so Hurricane is it's the phonetic spelling of the Japanese symbol, the kanji for hurricane. The way they pronounce it is like if you hear them say they say Hurricane, but it means meaning hurricane. And then BX is where I'm from in the Bronx, so it kind of translates into
Oh,
Bronx hurricane.
yeah. Well, you're not from Brooklyn, so everything from the Bronx is not the best in the world.
Unfortunately not, but it's Brooklyn's close. It's not too far.
Yeah, that's all. I don't think when we was up in New York. I don't know if we made it to the Bronx or not. We may have, and I just didn't know it because it was so big. We took a subway. We got lost, and so
Hmm.
we end up on Staten Island. I don't know where we was half the time. I was like,
You never want to end up on Staten Island, bro. The
okay,
Bronx
it
though,
wasn't big though.
it's cool. It's I mean, I guess the biggest thing that we could claim, I guess maybe, is the Bronx Zoo. Like that's a kind of a
Okay,
nice wildlife reservation
yeah.
to check out if you're ever like back in the city.
Oh, we'll
Other
come
than
back to
that, some places to eat, around here, but nothing, nothing out of the ordinary. The
that.
Bronx Zoo is, I think, the biggest attraction.
Well, that's cool. Well, whatever. We want to come back. Definitely, we didn't. Not enough time. We was only there for a couple, 5 days. So it's still not enough time to. Plus, we
Hmm.
know we had to see Robert D. And he takes up a lot of time. So anyway, other than we know, I know that you're a big Transformer collector, and I'm sure everybody else does. But do you collect anything, any other lines, or are you into anything else other than Transformers mainly?
Yeah, I'm gotten out of a lot of stuff recently, but I was collecting a little bit of everything. Like I used to collect the DC classics. I collected Marvel Legends. I was really big into SH Fig Arts. I collected a lot of like the Japanese like Power Ranger stuff is like I
Mhm.
guess the easiest way to describe it. Was really into that stuff for a while. Yeah, basically everything, anything and everything that I was like into as far as like a hobby or a TV show or anything that I liked. If I really liked it, I would usually collect the action figures and stuff.
So why did you scale back? I mean, it's just because of room, or you just not interested in it anymore, or anything like that?
Yeah, the room plays a big factor because, of course, if I had the space, then I'd be like, hey, I'm keeping everything. But I'm in a one-bedroom apartment here in the Bronx. Don't have a lot of space to basically
Yeah.
display or anything like that. I have to pick and choose. So I'm basically scaling back on everything else because, my love that I've realized is really for Transformers and stuff like that. Those are the
Aw.
figures that I enjoy, yeah, playing with the most and stuff. So I'll still dabble here and there in the other stuff, but since I don't have a lot of room, I'm gonna save the room I got for the things I like the most. So
That's true.
TFs it.
Good way to put that. So another way to you're collecting is a lot of people are this Mythic Legion. Are you into that stuff?
Oh, dude, no, no, no. All the rest of the BTM crew, dude, I, they spent so much money this past weekend at ToyCon, New Jersey, because the Four Horsemen guys were there,
Yeah.
and I'm so glad I'm not down that rabbit hole. Those figures are nice. They really are nice. When we went back to Dust Mite's house that night, Saturday night, got to mess with them and
Mhm.
stuff and see a lot of them in person. They're really, really good. But I was never really into like that kind of fantasy
Mhm.
type setting
Right.
or stories. So like for me, it's almost like an easy pass, but it's very tempting for me to kind of get into it and maybe dabble with the figure here or there. Like the stuff that speaks to me with that is the homages to He-Man and stuff like that. They have a few
Okay.
figures that look like
I don't know either.
He-Man characters, and it looks good.
So I just want to know: is this the new Pacific Rim kind of thing going on with other people, or is it? Do you think it's going to stay?
I think it's something that's going to stay because from everything from messing with them myself and then speaking to the guys about it, like they're very high quality figures and it seems like the guys that are making them like have a huge love for toys and action figures. So there's love being put into those figures. So I think people are going to be into them and stick with them for a bit.
Are they so Lord Nagatron said they are expensive. Are they expensive pieces? Are they,
I think they retail for about $40 if I'm not mistaken, like any kind of like the regular pieces. Exclusives, of course, are going to be more. I
right.
think the high prices people are seeing is because a lot of the figures are sold out, so they're marking them up like on the aftermarket if you find them on eBay, you know.
Gotcha.
So
Okay, that's cool. So, and you mentioned that you are in part of the Breaking Mode, which is on tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Um, and you're on, a new verbally challenged and everything. I think you and Brink need to get on a podcast itself and just be on and just call it "We're on Podcast." That's all y'all talk about other podcasts. Y'all are on so many. Because I had Brink on about a week or two ago, and it's wonderful and everything. I love Brink and everything. But he's on a lot of stuff. You're on everything. I think it'd be money if y'all would just, get on podcasts as you two and just talk about other podcasts that y'all been on.
Exactly. That might work. That might work. We might have to do that. Thanks
Yeah.
for the idea.
So how is it that you found the ROC, the Realm of Collector? If anybody don't know what the Realm, everybody that's watching now knows part of it. But if you don't know about the Realm, where you been? So how is it that you found the the ROC, and how did you get involved with it? And such you're so deep into it now.
Mhm.
Have you done that?
Yeah, I've been in it since the very beginning. It spun out of the Decepticon click from Instagram,
Mhm.
which was like a hashtag that like a lot of people followed and like a
I
group.
did too. I did too.
Yeah, so and still cool, still I think out there people still using the hashtag and all that, which is
Mhm.
awesome. What I'm saying? So Dust, Rolling Steel, a couple others had an idea just to kind of grow it out of just Transformers and kind of make it more all encompassing because
Yeah, different
which I
line.
thought was a
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was a great idea because I'm like, everybody has such a wide variety of interests. It's not just Transformers, even though
right.
that's
Correct.
a mutual love that we all have. So, like a group with that kind of idea to just be like, hey, it could be about anything. It could be about movies, comic books, TV shows,
Yeah.
Transformers, GI Joe, whatever you're into.
So,
Um, that idea really, really appealed to me. So, I was down from the very beginning, and the guys started just with unbroadcasted hangouts and stuff like that. They
mhm.
eventually started the ETR podcast. I got involved just basically through those unbroadcasted hangouts from the very beginning, just hanging out, having a good time with those guys, and then the ROC Hangout show that wound up becoming like a Tuesday night staple. They always would have the unbroadcasted hangouts after ETR on Monday, and those still continue to this day.
Mhm.
They thought those hangouts were so much fun that hey, let's just put it on Tuesday nights and see what happens.
Hmm.
And so I would be on those shows a lot and stuff, and kind of like a third stringer, like I'm saying, Tommy Barricade was hosting. We had Asian Kid Matt
Mhm.
and all the other guys that would come on the show.
Right.
And so eventually just kind of like slid up like over time. As Tommy had some personal things, he decided to step away for a bit. Asian Kid Matt also,
Mhm.
had some things going on personally, decided to step away. So I took over hosting duties for that show, and just over time, it evolved into what Breaking the Mold is now
And
on
it
Tuesday
flows
nights.
so well with you hosting it. I mean, it's awesome. I love the show and everything's good. And
Thanks,
I think I get
thanks,
to be
man.
on it next week. I think. Yay!
Oh
Um,
yes,
Dave,
yes.
Dave asked me to come on. I was like, "Are y'all missing people or something?" He's like, "No, no, we got full cast. We just want you on." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's fine." So I
Dude,
thought
we
you were pulling my leg. So.
But we've been slacking so much when it comes to guests, honestly. Like I'm gonna be honest with that. Like we asked, I put out a post in the Realm group months ago, like, hey, who wants to be a guest? A lot of people responded, and we're still working our way to getting those people on. You know what I'm saying? So that's our bad. But very happy to have you on next week. I'm gonna need you on the verbally challenged,
Yeah.
and we're gonna be getting a bunch of other guests on the podcast real soon.
That's good. I mean, it's cool, and that's why I'm doing this. Is just to get a different perspective of people and their mindset of the fandom and everything. Sunday Heat once asked if they did a Dungeons and Dragons '80s cartoon figures in the Mythic Legends, would you go with them?
Nah. Mm-mm.
No.
Again, it's just the fantasy stuff. I'm not into it. If they tackled maybe like superhero stuff, if they were able to, like that would be difficult to do Marvel DC because of the
Yeah.
licenses. But
Correct. Yeah.
something more in that vein, then I'd give it a look.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Thank you
Mhm.
for that. questions on the so okay, let's see where else we going from. Okay, I heard about this. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Disney Plus. You know, a bunch of the Netflix, Marvel stuff is getting canceled, and they're going, because Disney has on everything. So, do you think
Hmm.
this is going to hurt Netflix in the long run, or do you think that they have strong enough backing to bring other shows in? Which I've liked some of their other stuff that are, Netflix, straight to Netflix and everything. And so I think they'll be fine. But what do you think? Do you think this Disney Plus is going to be a very good streaming kind of device like Netflix and everything?
Yeah, Netflix is a giant, so I just feel like they're gonna truck along. But the Disney service coming up, like the DC service, like other streaming services that are coming up, it's becoming a bit much. It's like you have to almost be subscribed to so many things if you're into a wide variety of things. Like I
Yeah,
loved it when you could just get everything on Netflix.
yeah,
So it's unfortunate now that you kind of have to go to all these other different avenues to get the content you used to just get in one place. I don't think it'll hurt Netflix in the long run. They produce a lot of original content. I enjoy a lot of the other stuff that's
mhm,
on there. So
exactly.
again, I think they'll continue. But me personally, I think it's going to lead people to piracy a bit more if they don't already do
Yeah,
it, just because I don't think a lot of people are going to be willing just to pay 9.99 for this service, 9.99 for this service, 9.99 for this service, just to get the things they want. So hopefully not. We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it could become more consolidated in the future.
yeah,
But I know I'm not going to be subscribing to any more than I already have. I mean, I got Netflix, I got Hulu.
yeah.
I'm not
It's a
really looking
lot.
to subscribe to anything else more than
I
that.
mean, people are griping, because they're paying so much for cable, or satellite and everything. But when you're taking account for all the streaming services now, it adds up to you're paying for cable and satellite. Like
Yep,
you
and
Netflix, Hulu, I mean, you got Disney Plus, whatever, however many other ones are out there,
mhm.
YouTube Red, all that stuff. So I mean, that right there, 40, $50 right there, you know.
Yep, and that's the situation I'm actually in, because like me being here in the Bronx, like I have to pay for cable. Not that I have to,
Mhm.
but and internet, like high speed internet for me out here would cost me like about $80, more or less, 80, $85 for high speed internet. It's not cheap like it is in probably other parts of the country.
Right.
So for me to access all those subscription services, my Xbox Live, PlayStation 4, whatever,
Yeah,
I
another one
need
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need that internet, 80, $85. And then
Uh-huh.
to have the television attached to it, it's just an extra like $5 because you get the combo package. So I'm
Exactly.
still paying for cable, still paying for high speed internet,
Mhm.
and then paying for those subscription services on top of it. So it becomes a bit much. If I only paid maybe $30 a month for high speed internet, then I'd be more open to paying,
Yeah.
the $10 for those different services, because it would still be cheaper than my cable bill. So
And that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even throw in the Xbox and and the PlayStation. That's some more. It's just like
yeah.
it's
And then
adding.
you pay for those yearly too. That's 60 or $80, whatever it costs a year
Yeah,
for those
yeah,
things.
60. I think was it. I forgot how much I paid. I think 49.99 or something, or 59.99.
Yeah.
$60 for a year for everything. But it's just like,
Hmm.
golly, it adds up and everything. So I don't know if I'm gonna get. I mean, I love Netflix. And like you said, the original content, they have really some good stuff out there that I really love to watch. I don't know about the Disney Plus. I mean, I still want to see the Marvel stuff, all the good stuff.
Hmm.
Daredevil. I still got to watch Daredevil season 3 and everything. But
Yeah.
you got Punisher season. All that stuff is pretty good. And it's like, well, I'm kind of conflicted. But plus they got, well, they're getting other, they just got Fox, and other things. So they're going to bring, hopefully, the smaller. They maybe can't go to like, put them in a movie, but they can start like
Hmm.
a Disney Plus series, and start for some of the smaller, like maybe Ghost Rider, get a Blade out there or something, or some other stuff,
Yeah.
be interesting to, watch and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, the sky is the limit when it comes to that, original content, especially when, all those characters are under one umbrella, under one house. If
X-Men.
Marvel has access to make series for all those characters because they own them, and then they're gonna do it under one umbrella, more power to them. It'll work.
There's so much they could do with like X-Men. There's like I said, X-Men.
Yep.
God,
Hmm.
there's so much life and everything. Thank y'all very much for joining me in the chat. I really appreciate it. I'm glad y'all really liked these interviews because I love doing them. And do go down and hit that like button for me and all that good stuff and everything, or hit it, whatever you got to do to it. So, so everybody knows that you're verbally challenged. So how did that come about? What got you to start something like that?
That was just kind of, I was so nervous like about doing that because it's like, would anybody care, but it's just kind of like I initially approached it almost like as a personal diary in a way. I was like, I wasn't sure what it was gonna be. I'm just like, you know what, I can maybe just do this on my own and speak about different topics that interest
Mm-hmm.
me. And but I learned very quickly that, if you're trying to do something solo, like it's tough.
Mm-hmm.
A conversation is always better when there's at least one other person there. So, shout out to everybody that's been on previous episodes and everybody that's been on the show. I'm very appreciative of everybody that jumps on and has a conversation with me on there because that's what makes that show. And we talk about just a wide variety of topics that I'm into. Like, I'm into wrestling, I'm into comic books, I'm into, other things that I might not have an opportunity to talk about so much on maybe Breaking the Mold or other shows.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of like my personal avenue to kind of have a platform to speak about those things and also just to do something like on my own and have like a bit of a learning experience with it because before I tackled that, I had no clue how to really edit audio. I never did anything of that sort, and
Mm-hmm.
I delved into that and did some research and self-taught, taught myself some things, and it's been a pretty nice experience. So I enjoy doing it, and I enjoy having a conversation with everybody that I'm able to get on that show every single week.
And it brings out your personality, because it's you one on one, or just you talking by yourself, and everything. So it just
Hmm.
brings out personality and things like that. That's cool. All right, cool.
Hmm.
So, with the passing of Stan Lee, which is everybody
Oh,
in the world has felt that and everything.
so
Um,
terrible.
what was I'm glad he has. I didn't want him to pass, but the suffering has stopped. Because
Hmm.
I think the last couple of years have been pretty bad for him and everything. His family and his all this stuff has been treating him like shit. And it's sad.
Hmm.
It's sad. It's such a wonderful icon to be put in that kind of situation, and he will, his stuff will be for years and years and years and years and everything.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so who was your favorite Marvel character? Are you a Marvel or DC guy?
Yeah, I lean more towards DC, but I read a few Marvel
Did
comic
you have a
books.
favorite Marvel character that you had that you always fall back to?
Yeah, if I had to pick my favorite from Marvel, I'd have to say Spider-Man. Like
Okay.
he's probably the Marvel character that I've collected the most comic books of.
Nice.
I love Incredible Hulk too. That was another one.
That's my favorite.
I grew up, watching the Bill Bixby, Lou Ferrigno show that used to be
Yeah.
on back in the day.
It's still on
I
today.
re
You can watch reruns on TV. I think it's on
it,
IFC or something like that. I watch it
yeah.
sometimes in the morning. It's weird.
That's cool. If they're still showing that, that's cool. I remember eventually in the 90s, I think sci-fi, when that became a thing, showed the reruns of the 70s Spider-Man. So, it
Exactly.
was just fun to see that stuff back then. But Spider-Man was probably like my favorite Marvel character as far as reading like comic books of. And it was a Stan Lee co-creation, just like he co-created so many other Marvel characters.
That's awesome.
So he definitely left his mark on the world, despite, there's people that say bad things, he's getting a lot of love, I got a lot of love for that guy, I always enjoyed his cameos in these movies. Growing up reading those books, reading the Stan soapbox that used to be in the back of those comic books.
Mhm.
I think Dust might said it last night. He was the face of that company,
Mhm.
basically, and
Yeah,
and
I would say
and
so.
it wasn't like the way it is nowadays. You go on YouTube and you see what these people look like. Like back in the day, it wasn't like that. You didn't know, who the
Yeah,
artists, who the writers really look like, but you knew who
exactly.
Stan was. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, the X-Men, to an extent. Those were my Marvel guys.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I like Spider-Man. Hulk has always been my favorite. So now, and to switch gears on that, who is your favorite Transformer character? I don't think I've ever heard you say who your favorite Transformer.
Wow, favorite train. I guess it's always just gonna have to go back to the old faithful, which is Optimus Prime. I hate to say that, but he's I he's got to be the character that it probably is why I'm still in love, like with that franchise.
Right.
It's that franchise has such a plethora of characters, like so it's hard to
Mhm.
nail down just one, but
Yeah.
he's the embodiment of that series for me, of that G1 series, of the newer stuff. He's that hero character.
Yeah.
He was the one I shed the tear for when he died in the '86 movie.
Me
Like
too.
no other Transformer character did that. So Optimus has to
Starscream
be
was
it.
kind of. I was kind of upset with Starscream, but I remember watching that in August of '86, and they just kept, the killing. At first, it was like, what is going on? When they killed Brawn and Ratchet and
Hmm.
Ironhide, and you're just like, okay. And then you see Windcharger and Wheeljack laying there. You're like, okay.
Hmm.
And it kept to
It was
Prime.
shocking.
What the hell? If the internet would have been around back then, oh, it would have been blazing.
Mhm.
But I know a
Yeah.
lot, and it got short. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know that it got shelved. I mean, the movie didn't, I don't think it lasted for maybe like a month, I think. And it got taken off
Hmm.
because there were a lot of kids that were upset, and parents were writing to the movie, all this stuff saying, what are you doing? Why are you, killing off your, all these, the iconic characters, you know?
Hmm.
It was wild, and Starscream died. I don't think a lot of people care for that, but it kind of
Hmm.
struck, tugged some strings on mine end and everything. So it
Yeah,
was.
man, it was shocking, man, when you see that happen because you're used to. So what we have at that point, season one, season two, you get used
Mhm.
to seeing these characters every day on your TV screen, and then to see the Decepticons be way more menacing that you saw them on the television screen, and then you're
Exactly. Yeah.
seeing your characters that you watched every day literally like dying, like
Mhm.
and it was happening to all the Autobots. The Decepticons didn't really
I
seem to
know.
have
I'm like,
to get it as bad as the Autobots did in
no,
that movie, and
yeah,
I know that was the thing that stuck with me as a kid
yeah.
with that film. But yeah, man, just shocking to see that, and that's why even to this day it's still one of my favorite movies to watch. On a frequent basis.
Because you never saw that during the cartoon. You're like, they're all getting
Nope.
shot at.
Mm-mm.
Nobody's dying, and all of a sudden they're dying now. It's like, what is going on? So yeah,
Yeah.
it was weird. It was everything. So I got another question for you. It's kind of different, it's off the wall, just like all these other ones is. If you
Hmm.
could
Hmm.
see one person or band in concert, alive or dead, who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good one. Probably like to see. Maybe Freddie Mercury. Queen got a lot of good
Mhm.
hits and
Yeah,
stuff like that. That'd
good
be
choice.
good. I'm like, I want to see that movie.
I do too.
That's out now. Want to check that out for sure. I'd maybe well, else? Maybe Jimi Hendrix. I'm a rock guy.
Mm, nice.
He would be cool to see.
My
Music is a weird thing because it's like I kind of like I like music and I like a lot of different genres of music, but I'm not super into it where I'm like, man, like I know the names of tracks or even sometimes I listen to songs that I like and I don't know who the artist is and I have to, if I hear it, like I Shazam it. So I'm like, okay, that's who it is, and it's a song I've liked for forever.
yeah,
I'm just kind of like weird in that way.
yeah.
How about you?
The one person I wish I would have got to see was Prince.
Oh, yeah,
Never-
Prince. Yeah,
He came to Little
that'd be
Rock.
nice.
He came to Little Rock one time. I'm sure he probably came several times, but he came one time, and I heard it on the radio and everything. I was like, oh, I gotta go, but I think it's sold out. And I thought, well, he'll be back and everything. And I just never got around to seeing Prince. I wish I would have got. Oh, that would have been such a Prince, or I like to see AC/DC. I've always wanted
Hmm.
to see everything. So, but yeah, Prince was always. I mean, I love Prince's music. It just he's a musical genius. So you
Hmm.
may not like him, whatever he does or anything, but the dude was a musical genius. I mean,
Yeah.
he had like several instruments, and I still can watch Purple Rain. I just bought a Purple Rain shirt from Target and everything. It just says Purple Rain and everything. So
Hmm.
I'm really upset I never got to see him in concert. That would have been really good.
That would have been good, man. That would have been good. I actually, concerts are probably the thing I've seen the least. I've done Radio City, Music Hall,
Mhm.
the Christmas stuff, which is just, easy. But I think the only other musical concert I could remember going to was a Tool concert, maybe like about 6 years ago or so.
I saw to a while.
Can't. I can't remember doing anything else besides that. So, like, unfortunately, I've gone to plenty of wrestling events. Like, again, music was never something that I was like, oh man, yeah, I go to a lot of concerts. I would like to change that though, because I know my girl likes freestyle and stuff like that, Judy
Yeah.
Torres and a lot of other old school artists. So, and I dig that stuff too. So maybe next time those guys are in town, I'll go to a
Yeah.
show.
I've been on. I used to go to concert. I'm a big hair metal fan. I love Poison and Warrant, all the
Hmm
80s hair bands and everything. And I used to go
hmm
see them and everything. I've seen like Poison like 13, 14 times. But it's been a while. I haven't been. I'm just that old guy. I just don't want to go to concerts anymore. I can watch it on YouTube. I'm fine. You know.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's kind of us too, where we consider ourselves homebodies a lot. Like, and even sometimes when we intend to go out, like, look, we're gonna go do this, we're gonna do this, and we're planning things Monday and Tuesday, and then the weekend comes, we're so tired from work, we're just like,
Yeah.
let's just stay home, have a
Yeah,
drink,
watch a
and
movie,
watch some
enjoy the
Netflix.
movie. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. That's
exactly.
what we do sometimes. And like we want to do so much, and it's like, eh. So Sunday he said he'd like to see the original Temptations. That'd be cool. Josh said he
hmm
would like to see Prince. Michael said he would have seen Pantera back in the day. That would have been good to see all of them together. Let's see. Sunday got to see Prince in Philly in 1988. That's awesome. Like I said, I would love to see that. And Sunday he's a big Eagles fan, and y'all
hmm
suck. So I'm just going to tell you, we're in first place. Hell to the Redskins. Just gonna put that out there. So, anyways, we'll see you all in a couple of weeks. But, yeah, anyways, but thank y'all very much for coming in and everything. I really do appreciate it still. So let's see. One more question, might be one or two. I'm having a great time.
hmm Let's
Um,
go. Go.
what do you think of the fandom nowadays? And I'm just talking about Transformer, not other any fandom. What do you think of the Transformer fandom at now? Do you think it's in a positive or you think it's in a decline area right now?
The fandom. You know what? I don't, being on the shows, I'm sure, it's all the people watching super appreciate it, but I keep my interactions mainly in the realm group. And in there,
Okay.
things are pretty positive. You don't see a lot of negativity. Like, I know, a lot of people, the direction that their collections are going. There may be a lot of people moving into other things.
Mhm.
There's people that collect maybe just masterpiece. I know, the generation stuff doesn't get a lot of love anymore from a lot of the adult collectors. But personally, I don't participate in a ton of other groups. Like I said, I keep it in the realm. So from my interactions, I don't see any of that toxicity or anything like that I hear.
Mhm.
I mean, I see it here and there, but it's
Yeah.
not like a thing that I use to judge the community as a whole. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like, hey, collect what you want, love what you want.
Exactly.
You when I listen to you on SCU, like the awesome thing is, like, sometimes, I know those guys, like, again, they don't love the generation stuff much. You're all in on that stuff, and I
Mhm.
love the answer that you always give. You're like, hey, because I love Transformers. You know what I'm saying? And that's exactly it. You know what I'm saying? If you love it, you know what I'm saying? Great.
You win. Everybody wins.
Nobody should be putting anybody else down for the things they love, or for the things that they collect. So, again, I don't see any of that negativity in the realm. So I'm thankful for that. And man, that's probably why I kind of limit my interactions in the other groups.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you hear a lot of that stuff about negativity and
Yeah.
toxicity and stuff like that. And if that's what's out there, then I choose to stay away from that.
Yeah, dude, there's been so many times on Facebook, like I'll type out a long ass paragraph and I'm ready to hit that send. I'm like, do I really want to get into this? Do I
Yeah.
really want to
hmm
spend the time and negativity on this guy it's fine. If you hate something, that's fine. I'm all
hmm
for it. You can hate whatever you want. We all win. But I'm just like,
hmm
I've typed out so many times. I'm just like, delete. I'm not, I don't want to, you're not going to change
Yeah.
anybody's mind. I mean, you're not going
Exactly.
to change yours. So I don't know why people argue on Facebook, because it's just you're like talking to a wall. Basically, you're like
Yeah.
a wall.
And you just said it. I think the thing is that if somebody's kind of like so set in their views or ways, you're not going to change their mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's always nice when you could have the conversation though. Like if somebody might be like shitting on a particular line or something, and it might be something you like, there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, well, I like it because of this and that,
Yeah.
and because I'm sure there's pros and cons to anything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's but then people are just quick to get negative, react, and then start
Start name
hurling
calling.
insults, and then
Yeah.
yeah, and then that's when it gets bad, and then then that's no good.
No, I'm
So
all for going back and forth. That's fine. And, if you can find somebody that will talk civilized with you, that's fine. You could disagree with me and I'll disagree with that, and we'll go
yeah,
on. We'll be friends. But once you start, I see the name calling,
yeah,
and stuff.
it's terrible.
Like I'm a grown ass man. I ain't
Exactly.
got this. I don't have time. Come on, man. Come on.
No need for it. No need for it. We're all adults.
Yeah, that is true. So, one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you see breaking the mold in 5 years?
Breaking the mold in 5 years. Hopefully,
we'll go both. With you and with verbally challenged too. We'll answer both. We'll see.
hopefully in 5 years, I'll still be involved, still be doing it with those guys. Hopefully it's not something that's going to be considered like a fad. You know what I'm saying? Like, we enjoy each other's company, me and those guys, and it's cool that we all pretty much live close together. So when we want to hook up, we can. It's a good thing. I look forward to the shows every Tuesday night, and I think those guys do too. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes it can feel like a chore when you're doing something on a weekly basis. You know what I'm saying? We all have personal lives, things come up. Sometimes you're just like, man, I want to take a day off. But it's not like, it's not that I don't want to see those guys or anything like that. It's just sometimes life just treats you like a punching bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But 5 years, I hope, I love all those guys. I love it, everything that I'm doing in the realm. I'm loving the community that we're building. You know what I'm saying? I love being a part of all this. So, I'm thankful, and I hope in 5 years that me and the guys are still doing it, still having fun with everybody in the chat, and still, bullshitting with each other, just like we're doing today. And stay.
I'm sorry.
No, and same thing with verbally challenged. Like again, it's breaking the mold. Like I said, could be stressful. Sometimes coming up with content for that show can be stressful, but it's always like things always naturally just fall into place, and I always have fun doing it. So as long as I'm having fun, I'm there for the long haul.
Yeah, you just gotta wing it sometimes. Like I think that's why Sharecast has been around. I think we've been around for 5 years.
Ooh, yeah.
It's been a while.
Nice, good run, man. That's a good run. When when you're hearing the episodes up in the 250s and stuff like that, that's great.
But and we have we've run out of stuff to talk about because there's not a lot of stuff in Transformers sometimes. There's weekly. There's not a lot of stuff coming out sometimes. So I think that with us, talking crap about other stuff, I think people listen to us now more for us than just Transformer news, because you can get Transformer news anywhere you want to. It's
exactly.
So with with us, I think people are just our chemistry is pretty good, and I haven't been on a lot. I've been on a little while, but I got class and everything, and Justin just had a baby, and I think he's coming back this week. I hope he's coming back this week. It's either this week or next week.
Awesome.
So yeah. So Mike Hart asked me, where do I see 30 minutes within with Deluxe? Man, I don't know, dude.
You're running through the guests pretty quickly because you're not doing this on a weekly schedule or anything like that. Sometimes I think I saw you do 2 or 3 in one day, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're knocking them out.
Yeah, but I can always have everybody back.
Exactly.
I invite anybody. Anybody that's been on, or anybody who wants to be on. I have open doors, man. You can come on, just drop in my DMs, and we'll set up a time, and we'll definitely I will always have content. I think I always have people, because I've done twice with Robert D, and I think I'll do more with Robert D because it's Robert D. I love for you to come back on. I love for Brian. I love for Energon Addict, you sexy beast, you. I like for him to come back. So like I said. So yeah, I'll always find time. But 5 years, I don't know. If I'm still alive, hopefully I'll be doing this. If I'm still doing reviews, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows anything? So,
yeah, I love your intro music and stuff. That I was like, oh, that's dope, man. I was gonna hit you up. I'm like, where do you get that stuff from? Like, how do you do that? Because I'm not versed in any of that. Like, I need to
Are
start
you talking
adding
about the
that
one with the
stuff.
gun? The one with the gun or the one with I have now? I changed it back to my old one with
I think I think it was the guns with the blue lights had
yeah.
your name, just
Oh,
like.
that's the website.
I
Website.
like that intro.
I changed it back. I mean, I'll switch it back. I don't know. It's a good one. I forgot. I got it off of Vino or something. Yeah, some
Hmm.
website you can you just add some stuff in and everything. So
All right,
it's cool.
cool.
And I've had people say I like your Yuliaki. What's that? The guitar. Uh, a Eula something. I don't know. I forget what they're called, but somebody's
I
gonna.
know what you're talking about, but I think I'm going to pronounce it wrong too.
It's called Yuli something. It's Hawaiian, kind of a ding, 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 that I have that on my reviews now. So
Hmm.
anyway, so I guess that's all I have, man. Did I have any more questions for you? No, that's it, man. Oh well, dude. Once again, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate it. I had a ukulele. There it is, ukulele.
Yeah, there you go.
I said it
I
wrong
was
again.
gonna,
Yeah.
I was definitely going to pronounce that wrong.
I knew it was something, ukulele or something, whatever. Anyway, but I want to appreciate you coming on. I look forward to it all day and everything. I'm trying to get everybody that I can on and everything, but I really do appreciate it. So thank you very much, and plug your stuff in and plug everybody. I'm sure everybody knows already, but plug your stuff anyways.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you for having me once again. Really appreciate it. I've been enjoying these 30 minutes that you've been putting out. So keep it up, man. Keep doing them. I'm enjoying them, and I'm enjoying all the content that you put out on your channel, man. It's good
Oh,
stuff. So as for myself, everywhere on social media at HarikenBx, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Xbox Live, and the PlayStation Network. You type HarikenBx into Google, my stuff will pop up. Please check out Verbally Challenged with HarikenBx. That's an audio show that's available on all audio platforms. You know what I'm saying? Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. It's out there everywhere, even on some platforms that I'm not even aware of. And it's out on YouTube as well, but I'm a few episodes behind on the YouTube. It'll be catching up. But I know some people like to listen to their shows on YouTube, so I made that
I do.
available as well. And check out Breaking the Mold Tuesday nights. Tonight, new episode, 8 p.m. on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. And
round two doing the picture stuff now. Also, that's cool.
yeah, the picture segment on ETR is a great way to just keep the community involved. That's something that I missed from that show on Mondays since Jay Rue's not on anymore and stuff. I took up the spirit of what he was doing, and I'm enjoying showcasing everybody's photos each and every single week on that show. So please check that out as well.
Oh,
Thanks,
awesome.
man. Thanks for having me. I so appreciate it. I was looking forward to it. Had a lot of fun, and can't wait till you have me back.
Yeah, thank you. Paul C asked, "Whose Christmas present on the bookshelf is that? Are you talking about mine or Jose's?" Paul
Oh,
C.
right there. Oh, that's the Volcanicus is up on my little Blu-ray shelf right there. Again, I don't have a lot of display space, so I had the upgrade kit on it. I usually just put that stuff in a tote, but I just put it there because I had some space. There's a little Bumblebee, that little flipper figure, the little
Oh,
Legends class Bumblebee that's
that's a
up on there
good
too.
one. Dude, are you in the Legends? We're going to talk more now.
Yeah, let's
Hit me
go.
on
Let's go.
hit me on mine. Christmas.
Legends, I'm kind of I do dig them because you know what, I love them for the Titan class stuff and the combiner stuff. Like that's the way you kind of get a true sense of scale. I feel like that's the best way um to use those figures for. And of course, just
Yeah.
like, if you want to just carry around something in your pocket or take something to work with you, having a little couple of Legends figures, it ain't no thing. You can't really do that with Masterpiece and stuff. So
Well,
um
you click. Are you in? Like I do it all. I mean, I'm Hasbro, Magic Square, Unique Toys, Iron
yeah.
Factory. I love Iron Factory and Magic Square. Are my go-tos right now. They
Yep, I do it. I've done it all with that stuff because just the Iron Factory stuff looks really nice. I feel like been the best built stuff. I
Not
had their
stylized
Magnus.
though. It's stylized. If you like a stylized, go
Hmm.
to Iron Factory. But if you want G1, Magic
Hmm.
Square and that new age, whatever, that flipper is so wonderful.
Yeah, I do like the updated designs and stuff. I know they were doing, kind of like the IDW look here and there. I appreciate both. That's kind of like why I still like Generations and stuff like that. It's
Mhm.
because it's not it's G1 characters, but it's not the G1 look. You're already getting that with
Yeah.
Masterpiece for that high end collectible. But I do like an updated look for these characters. So, and with this new Siege line, like I know you're waiting for that. I was able to pick
Thank
up
you.
some of
Thank
those
you so
figures
much for
over.
reaching out to me, dude. I appreciate it. I'm hoping to find them. I went looking today. I didn't see any, but I'm hoping to find them soon. But thank
Oh
you for
yeah,
reaching out, dude.
no problem, dude. Because I know it's like, man, like once you start seeing these things pop up, it's like, man, you want them. And I think the West Coast is the one that's where they've been popping up.
Mhm.
We usually get our stuff here on the East Coast, like December. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So sometimes when you start seeing people getting these figures, the wait, it's like, oh man. So at that show this weekend, there was I think there were two retailers there that had them, and they just had them for just a couple of bucks above the retail price, which honestly was not bad at all. Had no problem paying that just for the instant gratification. And
Mhm.
and dude, they're really nice figures, man. I think you're gonna really enjoy them. I know you enjoy all Transformers. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about your collection and stuff like that, is that you enjoy all of it. I feel like they put the love back into this
Um,
line. Um, because the last few years, like I did see the decline in quality, and I was, telling myself, man, I think I'm gonna be out, because if it's gonna
mhm.
just continue to be like this, maybe I just will stick with third party and higher
Yeah.
end collectibles. But
And they
when
s-
they revealed Siege, seeing those character designs and now having them in hand, I'm enjoying it, man. So
Yeah,
I think
I'm
you're gonna have
looking
fun.
forward to. I got actually Studio Series, the Revenge of the Fallen Starscream. I found
Hmm.
him there. I'm looking for Ironhide too. I haven't seen him, but yeah, I haven't seen the Siege line. I'll hopefully, but they're out a lot earlier than I thought. I didn't think they were supposed to come out till maybe around Christmas or even 2019, like January. So
Yeah. I know that's what's when I've usually. I mean, the Bronx is horrible, man. When it comes to for toy hunting, like now with Toys R Us no longer an option.
yeah,
We don't have Walmart like out here. We have like Kmart, which is like the bootleg Walmart.
yeah. We hear a couple of
So
anymore.
yeah, they sell figures there, but it's always like they're always like 3 or 4 waves
$100
behind.
more.
So
They're like
so
three or
the
$4 more too.
Yeah, so I mean, you're never gonna find the new stuff, and then if there's a Target around, you have to kind of get lucky in those places. But then there's people out here that toy hunt. So if you're, working a 9 to 5 like me, and you're not there at 10 a.m. when they open, a lot of that stuff tends to sell out. So, so it's been nice to be able to kind of get these figures early, check them out, because usually, like I said, those waves. New Transformers waves I've noticed don't show up here like in the city until like mid to late December, like you said. So if it would have sucked to have to wait like another 6 weeks like to mess with these things. So it's been
Uh,
nice. It's been nice.
All right. Well, that was awesome. Thank you very much once again, and thank y'all very much. Everybody's got to leave. I know. You know, hope y'all are safe and everything. So once again, thank y'all very much for coming in and watching me. Go down and hit that like button, sub, go all that do stuff. Well, I guess you already subbed if you're watching this. So whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about. Once again, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule, and I look forward to seeing you tonight on Breaking the Mold and everything. So.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. Can't wait for the next episode.
Yay, everybody. So thank y'all. I guess I'll see you on the next review. And as always, hell Hasbro. Good night, folks.